Don't tell me.
Bluff City Media presents the No Bluffing Podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes. Now, let's get to the show.
Grizz Nation, what it do? My name is Evan Hayes. That's my boy Jared Davidson, and welcome to the No Bluffin Podcast, where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way uncut about your Memphis Grizzlies and the overall Memphis sports and the sports world. It's another week, another good podcast coming y'all way. Jared, how are you doing, my boy?
Man, I'm doing good. Just settling into this new job. We're doing good. Got some of the equipment in today, so got to test out. Went to basketball practice and got some pretty good flicks. But no, we're doing pretty good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know how the new job is, but I know you're acclimating yourself pretty nice. You said Dyersburg State, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What level is that? That D2?
It's JUCO.
JUCO. Yeah, that's what I thought. But still a good job paying your bills. That's all that matters, man.
Mm-hmm.
All that matters. But again, y'all, we have a good episode coming y'all way. We're going to try to cap it around 7:05, 7:10, because we know the Grizzlies play tonight, but y'all know me and Jerry can get to talking. But we're going to try our best to keep it maybe hour 5, hour 10 at the max.
Hey, I don't know if you got Grizz PR tweet notifications on.
Another one just came through?
Mr. Jackson Jr. is playing tonight.
Oh, great. I thought you don't bring up Grizzly PR because my heart starts getting all nervous. I'm like, what happened?
Oh, now? I know. I saw the tweet pop up and I was like, please, nothing else new. But no, it's just Jerome back tonight.
Okay, good. As we expected, as you predicted, actually, he's going to take those 2 games off with that ankle sprain and play against Nikola Jokic in a different Nuggets. So we're going to try to preview that game later in this show. But as always, we got to start with No Bluffing News. I'm not in the producer seat today. My boy Jared is. So, Jared, can you turn me up in the headphones and get our first news topic going? Do you know what that is?
I'm looking. Which one are we starting with?
Whichever one you want to.
No, we'll do this. Start with this.
Grizz. Oh, Grizz. We dropping it that one first. Grizz week.
We'll go week in review first.
We'll do week in review first. Last week, the Grizzlies went 2-0. You predicted 3-0. I predicted 2-1. And I was right. I wanted you to be right as we picked up 2 wins against the Kings and the Mavericks and dropped a game against who was that we played?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. That's what I thought. Yeah, San Antonio. So, what was your thoughts on this week in Grizz basketball?
Continuing in the right direction. I mean, it sucks the way we dropped that Spurs game.
Yeah.
Not making a basket in the final 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yep.
But no, it sucked. That one sucked. But you saw a vast improvement of the competitiveness. Then you come out after that game, and what night was that game on? Was that like Wednesday, I think?
I think so, yeah.
And then you come out on Friday against the Kings and just from the jump, 40-point blowout win.
Yep.
Looked good. Needed that one to get your feet back under you. And then you play against a gritty Mavs team who had played better since the firing of their GM. You know, things got chippy in that game, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been talked about all in the news cycle all weekend. But, I mean, things got chippy, and the Grizzlies dug deep and won a game where I think earlier this season they lose. And, man, Cam Spencer in that dead-come game, in the fourth quarter especially, he got his. And not only was he getting his, they were in the clutch.
Yeah.
He had a step back three on the left wing that as soon as it left his hand, you knew it was good.
Yeah.
And you also know the vibes are back around this team when the entire bench, including John, Jaren, because they were out with injury, when they're engaged on the bench the way they are, and like you saw Ja laughing it up, having a good time. First time we really seen that this year. And I hope it relates to the court when he gets back. But that's the most locked in we had. Those two games on it. Okay, let me rephrase that. Those 2 games and 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And add 9 minutes to the end of that one. It's the best locked in stretch we have seen from the Grizzlies this year.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel like our attention to detail ramped up a lot. We saw way less turnovers. We saw better execution both ends of the floor. We saw the intensity go up a lot, no matter what line it was in the game, because in previous games, we worried about the injury of this team. Sometimes we go through lulls where we can't get a stop, can't knock down a shot, bad ball movement, all that. But at least in this past week, yes, we didn't play the strongest opponents. Yes, there were guys out on both sides, on our side and the other team side. But overall, we played great. I know we were on the post-game bounce against the Kings game, and we were talking about that 41-point blowout. And outside of the first week of the season where we went 1-2, I feel like this is the best we've looked all year. It seems like the crew is really like gelling to Tomas Isilo's system, at least on the offensive side of the ball. We're not shooting the ball great, but we're shooting the ball a little better than what we did. A tad bit. Like I think we've ranked up. I think we're like last time we talked, we were like 26, we maybe like 24th. So like we're still bottom of the league, but we've gone up a few spots, you know. Mm-hmm. So those things I like to see. I really loved what I saw, like you said, from the energy when it comes to Ja Morant. Mm-hmm. It was in a news cycle about Ja and Clay going back and forth, and Clay had some very aggressive word. I won't say aggressive, but very. What would be a good adjective to describe his words in his post-game presser?
He got his feelings hurt about something. Yes. Like he got his
feelings. He definitely in his feelings.
To quote him from that 2016 finals run, that man got his feelings hurt.
Yes, he did.
And like it's on the court, and then you take it into a post game. Like, dude, it's talk on the court. Be done with it. It happens. And honestly, too, from our end, it sucked because Ja's doing it in street clothes. That's besides the point right now.
Yeah.
Everyone hated Memphis when we did that back in our 22 playoff run.
Yep.
That ended in the second round. But I like that it felt, I hate to use this word, it felt nostalgic, even though it was just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But like, I'm glad we kind of got back to it, honestly. Because it wasn't just like everyone thinks it was just Ja at the end of that game. Bro, Santi was talking in the game. Everyone was talking in that game. Clay got his feelings hurt. Man, I love Brevin Knight.
He called his card on live television.
Yes, on live TV. Brevin Knight called that man out, and I love every second of it. And Brev didn't speak any false words in that moment. I just, in my head, in the way I felt about it, we've tried to how am I going to word this? I feel like we've tried to conform to what the higher ups of the NBA want the Grizzlies to be ever since the whole 2.5 years of suspensions, injuries, playing 30 plus guys, taking the culture out of Memphis. I think we've tried to conform to that, and it looked like against the Mavericks, we got a glimpse of our old selves back and going back to who the Grizzlies should be, which is getting on people's nerves, man. And like it's getting on people's nerves, and seeing Ja go to Cam in the post-game interview, that just like the team's gelling together. You're seeing guys step up and grow who, Cam's flourishing. He's flourishing into a solid rotation player who we're going to need down the stretch now. Santi has taken a leap. Vince has had a resurgence to the guy who earned a full-time guaranteed deal off of a two-way. Yep. Like you're seeing them revert back to who they truly are, and that is a good thing for the Memphis Grizzlies. Stop trying to conform to what people want and go do what got you into the spotlight, into the limelight in the first place, and that is being just straight up Memphis, man. Like when Ja is petty, especially on the court,
yes,
it translates to the whole team, and they play with an edge about them.
Yeah,
and they're so much better and so much more fun to watch. They get chippy, they dive on the floor, they get physical, and honestly, too, big part of that is to Zach Edey down low as well, because that man will bruise somebody. And it just feels like the culture's finally starting to creep back in to this Memphis Grizzlies locker room.
Yeah, you said a lot that I want to unpack. The first thing, because Clay said something in his pregame, because the first thing that he got into was him and Santi, because Santi tripped Cooper Flag and he thought it was a dirty play. And he then said, I respect Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, Mark, and the Grindhouse, but I don't respect these guys. He brought up how Dylan Brooks, who isn't on the team, by the way, who is not on the team, he said he broke his teammate Gary Payton Jr.'s elbow. And again, DB is not on the team anymore. But I don't co-sign with his dirty assignment, but I do co-sign with us being irritants and us being unliked and us being the underdogs and us being the scrappy team that teams do not want to come into Memphis to play. Or these people are gonna talk crap, they're gonna bump us a little bit, they're gonna get on our nerves, we're gonna be sore. Like that's when, not just in this Grizz next gen era, and it's the Memphis Grizzlies franchise totality, we've played our best when we embrace the gritty, the grimy, the Memphis side of our franchise. So, like you said, if that is back, or at least we see the inklings of that being back, I feel like that's going to prove great for our team. The point that you said, I agree with you, but I hate that it came to that. I hate that it took our second-year center and Zach Edey to change the culture. When Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant have been there, we're on game 16 now. For at least 11 of the 16 games.
Tonight's game 18.
Yeah, tonight's game 18. So at least over half of the games they've been there. So why did it have to take our second year 7'5" big man to change the culture, at least on the floor? That's what I don't like.
I'm going to pull a little bit from Sane and Kenny here. Because I agree. I can't remember which one it was, but they said this point, and I wholeheartedly agree. Kenny said something about it today or in last week, alluded to it. They needed Steve-O down low to open up their offense before he got hurt. When he got hurt, we went through this big old lull initially, figured it out a little bit, and then couldn't figure out what to do without a true center.
Thanks.
And Edey gets here, and all of a sudden, Ja and Jaren are having really good years again. Like Jaren had had his best year of his career last year with Zach Edey on the floor. And like he was one vote away from All NBA.
Yep.
I don't like it either, but they need a dominant center. They need a big center down low that can bruise, because Jaren's not a it's gonna, if people are listening, it's gonna spark something here. Jaren's not gonna be the guy that goes and grabs you 10 boards a game.
He's not a physically imposing guy. He's not, even though he's 7-footer, he doesn't play like a strong bruiser 7-footer.
No, that's not his style of play. He's more of that Kristaps Porzingis style of finesse. Yeah. And you look at that and you're like, okay, Jaren's not going to get that, so you need somebody else. Edey will do the dirty work down low. That's good. And honestly, Edey, yes, he's averaging like 8 or 9 rebounds a game since he's been back. But I think the Grizzlies overall, just without him in the lineup, you're seeing other guys get more rebounds too, because everyone puts so much emphasis on him down low.
Yeah.
And it gives Ja a bailout threat whenever he drives. It opens up the floor a lot more in that way. And so I hate that they need a center, but they do obviously need a big one because it's not them two. But I think you have your two physical dogs in this starting lineup going forward outside of Ja and Jaren. And that is one, Zacharias Edey, who we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, who is basically a veteran rookie at this point.
Cedric Coward.
Yeah, because he's in his early 20s already and not 18 coming into the league. Yeah, Cedric freaking Coward. Those two guys will do the dirty work. And looking 5 years into the future, are those two the future of this team more than currently the other two? Maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
They fit this old school culture of, being physical and doing the right thing and doing the right play and whatnot on the floor. To the point where John Jaren, they're probably still going to be here, but they don't have to be that. They don't have to be that all around. They'll be the flashy, the glamour of the team. But when you look at that starting lineup, the downright punch you in the face, not literally, obviously, is going to be Cedric Coward and Zach Edey. And I feel like those two actually down the line are going to complement each other so well. That duo and this duo just feeding off one another. And it's just like it's a synergy fit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely think those four, at least hopefully when Ja Morant comes back sooner rather than later. I know I was listening to Rusty. He was saying that he'll be reevaluated, I believe, at the beginning of next week. So hopefully we get some news on him early. Just those four, I feel like they feed off of each other. If y'all are looking at what Jared is doing, I sent him a text about adding. See, there we go. Shout out my boy Jared. I didn't want to hit the wrong one. That's cool. But you see, we working it out. But as I was saying, those four definitely seem to feed off each other's energy. Of course, Ja and Jaren are the finesse, they're the scoring, they're the flashy, all that. But Ced and Edey, they're the power, they're the brute, they're the toughness that this team needs. So hopefully we see those four on the court a lot sooner rather than later, because I feel like that's the four that will hopefully get this team up in the standings, more in the playoffs, and contending in the West. So that's
And you're entering a favorable schedule. You have the Nuggets tonight, and then you have 2 NBA Cup games where you have the Pelicans on Wednesday and then the Clippers after that.
Yeah.
You go 4-1 in this 5-game stretch, man. Like I said, if you go 4-1 in this stretch, you're already back to 6-11. You were 4-11. You're down to 5 games under 500. Just inch, man. Inch back and just get around 500 and then wait for the rest of the cavalry to arrive, because we got some unfortunate news.
That's a great segue. We're already on the same page. The next topic of today is on the same day where the Grizzlies got a W. We also got the unfortunate news that Jerome will be out for another 6 to 9 weeks. His return to play is 6 to 9 weeks. Grizzly PR say he's progressing well, but he's out for another 6 to 9 weeks. So I don't understand how that necessarily works. I'm not a doctor, never will be a doctor, but if someone's progressing well, why are they out for another month and a half to 2?
I think it's that he had a high grade. He had a high grade, not grade.
Yeah, high grade.
He had a high grade strain. So those are, you want to be more careful with those, obviously, than what Ja has, which is a low grade.
Yeah.
Like we saw what happened to Halliburton when he rushed back from a high grade. He ended up, unfortunately, popping his Achilles after a great start in Game 7.
Yeah.
And, it's unfortunate. You're seeing a lot of these. I believe the first one that we truly saw since in the last 6 years
was KD.
Was KD when he came back in the finals from his calf strain and then took one drop step, and you could literally see it with his hockey stick legs, his Achilles popping. Yeah. And so I understand that it could have been a setback that they didn't necessarily want to put out there, where he made one move and something didn't feel right, and then he comes back after the new year. It sucks. It does. But he's your new prized possession off the bench. He's the former 6 man of the year runner up. You want to be careful with him. You don't want to bring him back too early and lose him. And I think that's it's a decision that's obviously made by the medical staff, but I feel like Zach Kleiman and Tuomas Islo had a say in that as well, simply because Kleiman's in a contract year and he's putting all his money on TI. If you bring Jerome back 3 weeks early and something happens and goes wrong, then we're in trouble.
He's getting fired on the spot. He's getting fired on the spot. So yeah, I do think it was a setback, honestly, because from what we saw just behind the scenes, he was progressing pretty well. He got out of his boot pretty fast. He was on court doing stuff in his basketball shoes. But to hear that he's gonna be out for another month and a half, it does suck. Like, I was really gearing up to seeing Jerome and Ja and this crew on the floor, especially being they were so thin in the backcourt. But like you said, sooner rather than later, we'll be cautious rather than bringing them back too fast. And I understand the NBA is like super, super cautious when it comes to like calf strains. Now you see Wemby,
any soft tissues.
But like, I understand, like, because Halliburton happened on the biggest stage, Game 7 NBA Finals, in a high profile player. So I understand it. But like, I've done, even though I'm not a doctor, I'm not Rusty Witten, but I've done some research, and at least in the data that we have, it's nothing direct correlation that calf strain automatically equals Achilles tear. Like, yeah, like Jason Tatum, he didn't have a calf strain when he ruptured his Achilles. Dame Lillard had a hamstring injury, which is still soft tissue, but I feel like the over magnification of these calf strains, I feel like it's gonna bite some of these teams in the butt, because you're gonna have these guys out for way longer than they should, and that could see a depletion in, number one, the team's camaraderie, you have just throwing the guy in later in the season, and the team's overall record. Mm-hmm. So again, if we're not in the Grizzlies franchise, if Ty truly had a setback, of course not great, but like, I understand why pushing it back to January, maybe early February. But I truly think just over on the league, they're just spending a lot of time on these calf strains or these soft tissue injuries that really, I feel like this time next year or 2 years from now, really, people really gonna come out and say it really wasn't that bad. Like, you feel me?
Yeah, I feel it. And I'm pretty sure, like, the calf obviously is that first big muscle that attaches to that Achilles tendon. So people want to make sure that muscle is strong enough before putting too much strain onto the Achilles tendon. I've been around, both of us have been around, muscle injuries and everything, being, your current athlete, former athlete. And I grew up in a house of nurses, so they've seen all this stuff before as well. I understand wanting to be, careful with it. And, like you said, it's just that over magnification that's being watched like a hawk. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to be the next franchise that rushes somebody back, and then 2 or 3 games later, he takes one drop step and that Achilles is gone. So you don't want to be that. I mean, you have 13 games until the new year when Ty is going to get, I think, reevaluated again. So, I mean, in those 13 games, you have the toughest games will be at Oklahoma City on December 22nd. Then you are at Minnesota on December 17th. And you have San Antonio on December 2nd. And Milwaukee on Friday. You're at home versus Milwaukee the day after Christmas. That's like 3 or 4 truly tough games. The rest of the schedule is fairly simple, especially when the Grizzlies at the time right now are undefeated versus teams who were below 500 when we have played them. Now, granted, Phoenix has played great to start the year. We need them to stop that. But they are over 500. But at the time we played these teams, we're 6-0 versus teams above 500 when we play them. We're 0-11 versus teams above 500. Right now, I'm looking at New Orleans, the Clippers, the Kings, the Clippers again. Portland's above 500. Yeah. But Washington, Utah, Washington again, and then that's
a lot of winnable games.
Yeah, 7 or 8 teams against teams who are below 500 right now. So.
Yeah. So again, I think being that hopefully we get tied back during the time that the schedule gets tough again, I feel like that's what the franchise kind of sizing up. They're looking, because people are not thinking about, like, when Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, that was literally the biggest stage in basketball. So any good reason to rush for himself to make a decision, because it wasn't the pace of decisions, it was Tyrese's decision to rush back. And I feel like most NBA players, especially NBA stars in that position, would probably do the same exact thing Halliburton did.
Any player that's not an end of the bench player who's going to make a huge impact in Game 7 of the NBA Finals is going to make that decision to try and play 10 times out of 10. It's just the competitive nature. And also to your point about, with a lack of a hard schedule coming up right now, you look at that schedule after the new year right now, you have a back-to-back in Los Angeles with the Lakers. You're at home versus the Spurs, Phoenix, Oklahoma City, Brooklyn. Then you have that 2-game Orlando trip to Europe. And then Atlanta, New Orleans, Denver, Houston.
A little tougher. It's some. I don't want to say give me games, but it's some hands down winnable games in there. Yes. But that's way tougher than this stretch right now. So that's what we feel like the franchise is doing, trying to just size up, trying to make sure 100% he's okay, so we can have him back. Hopefully, I want to see him back before the MLK games. That's even though we don't have the MLK game. That's what I'm thinking.
I think. Okay, I called it with Jaron. I'm calling my shot again. Give me either Friday, January 9th against Oklahoma City or Sunday, January 11th versus Brooklyn.
And that's around
that 9-week reevaluation comeback. So if he's reevaluated in like the 7 to 8 week period, and he gets back a week later, I think that puts him around those 2 games. Yeah, give me somewhere around January 9th, January 11th to get Ty back into this lineup.
I like that. I hope you're right. My prediction is going to be he's going to debut in Europe. I feel like that'll be a thing that the team wants to. Europe. Yeah, I just feel like that's the same the team wants to do. Like, again, it's a big game. It's going to be on national television and all that. Like, have Ty Jerome. That's Ty Jerome coming back. That's another storyline going to this game already. The Des Bane return, and that's what I think. I hope I'm wrong. Just knowing how the NBA likes to kind of line things up sometimes, that's how I see it. But, in news that we lost Ty Jerome, the Grizzlies did announce that we did get another medical hardship, being that Ty Jerome and Ja Morant, all these guards are out. But we signed Kobe Bluffin to a 10-day contract. Bluffin is a 6'4" guard who is 22 years old, who was selected by Atlanta Hawks, 15th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. He was called up from the South Bay Lakers, and last season he averaged 22 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steals in 28 minutes of play in the G League. The film that I've seen on Bluffin, he's a bigger athletic guy. He likes to get downhill. He's a streaky 3-point shooter, mid-range shooter, not like that, but he will defend. He is a pretty capable defender. So that if anyone's listening or watching the games, that sounds like a Tomas Isilo archetype of player. Yeah. I personally wanted someone like Spencer Dinwiddie because, he's a vet. Even though he's older, but he can stretch the floor a little bit. But of course, probably someone that's older, they're not gonna want to come in for a 10-day contract. So I kind of get with the money, So what was your thoughts when you hear we signed Bluffin?
I like that we signed Bluffin because obviously right now your front court is getting better with Jaron coming back, obviously, and Jock not being on the injury report was huge. But you have 4 guards down right now, and so you need Bluffin to be that buffer. But I don't think if it's anything like the Bassey thing, he's hardly going to play. I think, I know. I'm sorry, bro. That pissed me off so much that we bring these guys in for 2-way deals or call them up from the G League and all that, but we don't freaking play them. I think because right now, honestly, too, because it's Vince and Cam manning the point guard spot right now. Yeah, and it's worked. And granted, against 2 bad teams, but it's worked right now. Didn't even need Meshack until garbage time at the end of the Kings game. He didn't play Meshack at all against Dallas. I would like to see Bluffin get some run with this team, but I doubt it happens until the very end of this 10-day because he got signed today. So today's the 24th, so that would give him until December 3rd. Yeah, his last eligible game would be at San Antonio on Tuesday, December 2nd, and that gives him this entire 4-game road trip after tonight. Like I said, I don't think we see him play until maybe the last 2 games against Sacramento and San Antonio.
I bet you're right, but I hope you're wrong because
I'm wrong too.
As much as I love Vince Williams, how he's been playing, and as much as I love Cam, I'm still not the most confident with those 2 being outside of the natural position against a capable teams, or especially the team that we're playing tonight in the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray and all the guards that they have. So I would like to see him. Like, again, it's hard to throw a guy in there because he doesn't know the offense. He doesn't know the defensive rotation or defensive philosophies. He doesn't know any of that. Like, he probably just flew in to Memphis probably this morning, probably this morning, because it got reported yesterday by Shams, but it didn't get officially until today. But we got to use these guys, man. Like, because eventually,
You're telling me with the way Zach Edey has impacted this lineup in kind of the same way Charles Bassey played in his, I think, 22 total minutes that he did play in 2 games. You're telling me that Bassey would not have worked better? Now, Wayno, if you're watching, I apologize. You're telling me that Bassey wouldn't have worked better as a starter on his 10-day over Jock, who was Bassey came in his first game, I believe, against Houston, or either Houston or Detroit, where he came in and played 15 minutes and got 10 rebounds very quick.
It's simply about what fits right with this team, and a guy like Bluffin does, and it's especially playing teams where, of course, we're going through not a cupcake stretch right now, but like a little easier stretch. I would like to see, yes, Williams has been playing well in the point guard position, but eventually when Josh coming back, Josh hopefully come back in the next week or two. I want to see Williams maybe slide just in spurts to his natural position so he can get used to playing that type of way when Ja comes back and all that. And of course, Cam, he's been doing pretty good with their point guard position, but I want to see guys playing in the natural position. I understand you have needs. I understand when guys are out, you have guys have to step up. But if we have a guy that we can bring in that can hold some of that weight and have like Williams and Spencer slide back to their natural position, I feel like that's a good thing to have. I don't understand why Eastlow just loves bringing guys up and not playing them. It doesn't make sense in my head.
Someone made a joke. I can't recall who it was. If you think it took the players this long to learn the system and we still have guys who are struggling to learn the system, you think a 10-day guy is going to come in here and learn the system overnight? Which, now granted, valid point, but if you're going to bring in these guys on the hardship, you got to play them.
You got to
in some capacity to at least give you some benefit. You know, that's the reason you brought them in. You have 15 active guys. Well, actually, we have like 12 right now.
Yeah.
But still, you have to give him some run. I wish Bassey would have gotten more run. I saw people questioning why we didn't sign Bassey back to a 2-way. It's because we finally have our front court where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So,
and it's 2 things. Like, number one, that guy may not know the offense, but the other team doesn't have film on this guy, so they don't have matchups and know how to guard this guy, how he fits in with the offense. So that could also be throw off the defense. That's another thing. And 2 is, of course, I don't want to lose that playing any position in the NBA is easy, but we have a 7'5" guy that's playing well, and you're a guard. I feel like it's not a bad idea to just throw it to him when he's been playing so well, because we've been doing better getting him the ball. I can give us credit. We finally figured out that we have a 7'4" paint beast, and we're figuring out how to use him. Being that we're doing better getting him the ball, why not throw another guy in there that can do that can show that he can pass the ball and let the other guys move to their natural position? Yep. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. That's just me. Like, yes, Edey has been playing well, but he also be getting passes by guys that he's not going to be getting passes from when everybody comes back. So just throw somebody else out there. Yeah. It's probably not going to happen when the game tips off in about 40 minutes, but we're two guys that can dream,
Yeah, like I said, he especially won't play tonight, in my opinion.
Nah, definitely not.
It's
definitely
day
not.
one.
Definitely
if he's playing tonight, we have bigger issues in this game than him not playing like in 2 days, 2 games.
It's a 40-40 game. We either up by 40 or down by 40 if we see him play. But but that's all we have for No Bluffin' News. We hit some good topics about your Memphis Grizzlies. When we come back, we'll be hitting things outside of the Grizzlies. We're going to talk a little bit of football and talk a little bit of college basketball. Evan Hayes, Jerry Davidson, we'll be right back after a short break. I'm going to keep stalling until he finds it.
Found it.
In 2 minutes, we'll be right back. No Bluffin' Podcast. See you in a little minute.
how much of this is fixable with time?
I mean, I think you can maybe see the effort get better. I think they can probably rebound a little better, and they can start getting the right guys the ball more often. But beyond that, I think it's pretty fair to say that this team is capped to a certain extent. You may just be what you are.
If the question you're asking is what is fixable, and if it's fixed, will it produce what we saw last year or the year before, whatever it may be? If that's the ultimate goal, that might not be a proper goal for this team. The goal is to get the team fixable to where they can win the conference and make it to the NCAA tournament, and then potentially do some damage as they go into the NCAA tournament. There are some things that are fixable. There are some things on this that we saw out there that are absolutely fixable.
Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Calling all Tiger fans, your place to watch the first round matchup between the Memphis Tigers and number 1 ranked Purdue Boilermakers is at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville, Tennessee. 4:30 p.m. Thursday, November 20th. Come hang out with Bluff City Media at the South's premier sports bar. Great food, beer specials, and large television screens will make Mugshots the place to be to cheer on your Tiger basketball team. Also, Tigers Live, the premier Memphis Tigers postgame show, will be live after the game from Mugshots. Come hang out with us this Thursday.
Welcome back to the No Bluffin podcast. I'm Evan Hayes. That is Jared Davidson. As always, you can follow us at E11Hayes and JB Davidson _ You can follow the pod page at the No Bluffin Pod. And of course, follow everyone on the Bluff City Media at BCM Grizzlies. We talked Grizzlies basketball. Now we're going to talk a little bit of Tigers college basketball because, of course, they were talking about it in the commercial with Kenny and Francis. How the Tigers aren't looking great right now. They are currently 1-4 on the season after going to the Maui Invitational. They weren't in they were Bahamas, where they lost 2 close games, one to Purdue and one to who did they on the Bears beater? It just lost my mind off the quick second. Wake Forest. Yeah, Wake Forest off a buzzer beater. Yeah. Purdue 71-80 and Wake Forest 69-68. Their only win coming against San Francisco, and that was also a tough game. I know you're not a huge Memphis Tigers fan, being that you did not attend to University of Memphis, but of course you're still a Memphis sports fan. The penny has been under scrutiny because we're 1-4, new group of guys, still trying to find a rotation. A very tough loss against Purdue, but a kind of bad loss against Wake Forest, as we have one of the hardest non-conference schedules in the nation at that, because the American Conference is so, I don't want to curse, but so bad in the basketball sense. So what have you seen from the Memphis Tigers basketball so far that you like, dislike? Just what's your thoughts? Because this is looking kind of rough right now.
Yeah, man, you play a great game versus Purdue. You did. And then you go up 1 off of the first free throw. And the second free throw, you miss it. They don't have timeouts. And you make it. They get a heave that somehow no one else gets their hands on. And easy kick out, 3 for the win. And it's just, oh, man, I haven't got to watch much Memphis college basketball this year, but I mean, I don't really know what to make of this team. Like, on paper they should be good, and I think they'll be fine once they get. More under their belt and whatnot. But I mean, last time they started 1-4, they missed the tournament and fired their head coach. I'm not saying fire Penny. If you fire Penny, who do you go get? That's the thing.
The program is dog.
Hang on, dog ripped out my headphones. There we go. We're back. But, I mean,
if you fire Penny, the program is cooked. So
cooked in any chance you have of getting any. I'm trying to think. If you have any chance you have of getting any better NIL money for this basketball team goes out the window, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a conversation. I've seen a lot of that talk for some reason. But yeah, man, that lost to UNLV to kind of start the year or second
at home.
Year
Yep.
at home. UNLV team who lost to UT Martin. I'm always going to throw that out there as a transitive win. I was rooting for y'all hard on that Purdue game because I saw someone say it's like, hey, transitive wins in college basketball mean a lot more than people think.
Facts.
But I mean, this Memphis team, I think what's their upcoming schedule?
We have Southern Illinois coming Wednesday, which should be a win at home, and they have New Orleans coming on following Wednesday at home. Then we have going back to a tough schedule against Baylor, Louisville, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and then we get another game during the break against Alabama State, North Texas. Then we get into conference play. So again, like I said, one of the most tough non-conference schedules in the nation.
Any schedule's tough non-con, and I do not blame them.
You have to. When you're in the American Conference, when you're in the American Conference, you have to make your non-conference schedule great so you can hopefully make the tournament and get a good bid. So I see why they're doing it.
But here's the thing, though. You have to win those games. That's the problem.
You do. 100%.
That's the problem right now. You got to win those games. But, I mean, I think they'll iron out. I really do. Because usually in the past, you see these rough stretches come kind of more towards the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Penny squads, from what I've seen from the outside. But I just hope for them, I hope that this is their rough stretch now.
Yeah. I hope so too. I am not as optimistic as you because I have got to watch these games and
I am though.
and I kind of feel personal about it because I know some of these guys on this team personally. I grew up playing with Givens. I grew up playing with Thetford. Funny story. Well, I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but I saw Doug McDaniel this summer on Beale Street, and we had a small conversation, and we was in the same draft class. Not draft class. I'm not getting drafted in the EBA, but the same graduating class. And of course, I've played with Ashton growing up when he was living in and outside of the city. So I know these guys. I played against these guys, played with these guys. It's just I don't think this team on paper has the talent. They do. I don't feel like from seeing it, we have the talent to outright win our conference without any big hiccups along the way. I don't think we're just going to dominate our conference. And that's what I'm scared because I feel like we should be playing this non-conference schedule a little bit better. I think the UNLV game was winnable. Ole Miss, we were losing most of that game bad. We just came back in the second half with a flurry. It's just we haven't the only game that we looked on par was Purdue game, but we looked outclassed against Ole Miss. We looked outclassed against UNLV, and we lost to Wake Forest on bad coaching. As much as I love Penny as a coach, that's coaching. that
was coaching.
They have no timeouts. They have to go at the length of the floor. You see the big man at the opposite free throw line. He's not gonna shoot the ball. No. If he does, you can live with that. So more than likely, he's gonna find an outlet to one of his guards. And what happened? They threw it free throw line extended to the opposite free throw line, caught, kick out. We was in a group chat. I think it was Drew that said they ran the what play.
It's the BCM podcasters group chat.
It was the Bright. They said they ran the Bryce Drew play. I'm not a college basketball coach. I will never be a college basketball coach. But I feel like as wise as Penny is, he should be aware on the possibilities in that situation. That's what you say in the timeout. Hey, make these 2 free throws. They're gonna try to find a guard on the second pass. So just where did I just go? Did you just boot me from the show?
Did not.
What the heck was that?
My hand was off my mouse.
Hey, bro, Casper got something going with us, bro. I don't know what's going on. But anyway,
Hey,
I feel
something happened. You're a little clearer now.
hey, I'll take it. But anyway, y'all know my apartment is haunted with bad Wi-Fi, so everything happens here. But anyway, the only game we looked good was against San Francisco, obviously we won, which you should, and that was a dogfight, and then against Purdue. That's not giving me the optimism. Just what I've seen. Like, I get Doug McDaniel's supposed to be that guy, and I like Doug, but do I want him being my best player on a team that's supposed to make a deep run to the second round of the tournament? And he's 5'11", 5'10" on a good day. I've stood next to Doug. I'm 5'10". I had that flipped. I just realized what I said wrong.
Yeah.
I'm 5'10". Me and Doug are looking each other right in the eyes when I met him. Doug will forever better than me in basketball, but I don't want a 5'10" guard as my best player on a college basketball team unless he's just a nuclear scorer. Yeah. In college basketball, when you have guys that are that small, they have to be nuclear scorers from the outside. And what is Doug McDaniel's shortcoming? His outside jump shot. So is that your best player? That's not a recipe for success.
No, it's not.
Ashton Hardaway, he's our second leading scorer, only averaging 8.8 points per game. He's supposed to be our scorer. He's supposed to be our shooter. It's only putting up 8.8 points per game.
Also, didn't Sincere Parker only get like 3 minutes in that game?
Yeah, his minutes have been weird. We still don't have a set big man. Bradshaw's supposed to be our arguably best player coming in. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but he's only averaging 4.4 points a game right now. He's only getting 11 minutes a game, and he can't stay out of foul trouble. He fouled out of the Purdue game, and he was in foul trouble in the Wake Forest game.
Jeez.
So as much as on paper, we see all the stars by these guys' name. They played here, transferred from here, like all that. Penny still playing with lineups, right? Like one game he'll throw a 3-guard lineup with McDaniel, Parker, and Givens, and then the next game Givens gets 5 minutes a game. Like he's still trying to figure out who his guys are. And I understand you have 15 new guys, but it's hard when you're playing this tough of a non-conference schedule to be still trying to figure out where your offense and defense is going to come from early. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because also, too, like, I've noticed this over the past couple of years, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from the outsider's perspective looking in, it seems like Penny doesn't figure out his starting lineup until about halfway through the season.
Which is not good.
Which is not good because you see all these teams, you see everyone else who's a tournament team, even though they have, 9 or 10 new guys on the roster, coaches figure out who's going to start. People figure out who's going to start and whatnot, like before the game or like before the season starts, and they know who's going to be at least 3 or 4 out of the set 5 lineup.
Yeah.
So that's probably like my biggest knock on Penny is that like you had all off season to prepare, or like with all your guys, at least 3 or 4 months to get some kind of a consistent starting lineup through practices and whatnot.
Facts.
That's probably my biggest knock on Penny as a coach is that he doesn't figure out his starting line. He doesn't figure out a set starting lineup, and he somehow does not do that through the months of practice he has before season tip off.
And being that you've been here for over than half a decade now,
has like he really?
Yes. His first year, what grade was I in? Was that my 9th grade year of high school? I think it was
9th grade.
2018, I think, of my Mavericks career, because that's the year Jeremiah Martin graduated. Because he had 1 year Jeremiah Martin. Check me right now. Let's see how good my brain memory is. Was it 2018?
Penny Hardaway started coaching at the University of Memphis in March 2018. He was officially introduced as the head coach on March 20th, 2018, replacing Tubby Smith.
I was right. So think about that. I'm finna graduate college.
So his first season was 18-19.
Yes. I'm about to graduate college. And he started coaching in my freshman to sophomore year of high school. Think about that.
So he's already coached 7 years, and that's including the COVID year.
Yes. And this is still stuff that a first-year coach would be having issues with. I'm not saying Penny's a bad coach. Do I feel like he's the greatest coach in the world? No, but do I like Penny as a coach? I like his defense when it runs properly. But you have to know your personnel on the floor. You have to know who's going to play in certain positions. He's tried to run this run and jump trap defense for 7 years, and I've seen only like 2 or 3 teams run it properly because you have to have the personnel on the floor to do that. This team is not built by athletes and defensive guys. We do not have that on this roster. So running a run and jump defense is not working. When we actually went zone, it actually worked. We went zone against Wake Forest, even though we lost that game. It worked. We went zone against Purdue. I'd rather run zone and just man to man. Don't press unless you need to. Like it's that type of stuff that I want to see improved. And I know we going a little long, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I just because you know how me and Jerry get. I just want to see those things improve because right now I'm not looking at a team that I'm confident is going to win the American Conference.
Yeah.
Because if you don't win the American Conference, you're not making the NCAA tournament.
You're a one-bid mid-major league.
You're a one-bid mid-major league. There is a very small % chance that if you don't win your American Conference convincingly at that, because even if you win the American, if you're in a dogfight with freaking Tulane or somebody,
you're going to be a 13 seed.
You're going to be a 13 seed, and you're going to be playing a very good, Power 4 team in that first game. So you can't have that, man. Like you can't have that. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. We got about 10 minutes. Do you want to get on Shedeur real quick, or do you want to talk about bigger? Yeah, we can talk about.
The big men's basketball week is mainly on Thanksgiving. You have a couple big games tonight. Let's see here. You got Iowa State and St. John's. They've already played. You have Bama and Gonzaga tonight, which is going to be good. That's
I got Bama. I love Bama's team.
I got Bama in that one as well.
I love Bama.
But Tuesday, not a lot of. You got Tennessee and Houston tomorrow. That's huge. Michigan, Auburn. Those are the only ranked on ranks. Wednesday, you got no ranked on ranks on Wednesday. And then Thanksgiving Day is when you have a big one. Number 4, Duke. Number 22, Arkansas. That's in Chicago. You got North Carolina, Michigan State. And TCU, Florida, in my opinion, will be a sneaky good matchup. And then Friday, you have UConn, Illinois. That's a ranked matchup, 5-13. So, you have a decent week of ranked on ranked college basketball.
So, being that you're a way better college basketball head than I am, what 3 games in that whole slate that you're saying that if I asked you recommend someone have to watch or you need to watch 3 games you have to catch this week, will be those 3?
Michigan State, North Carolina, Bama, Gonzaga here in about an hour and a half. Yeah. And then my bias, Arkansas, Duke.
John Calipari versus Duke, I feel like it's always a good thing. Mm-hmm. So you always love that. But yes, like you said, big week ahead. But we're going to try to wrap it up with our last topic of the day is Mr. Perfect Timing himself, shoulder watch, Shedur Sanders, had his first start in his NFL career, in his regular season NFL career against the Las Vegas Raiders, where he led them to their 3rd win of the season. He is the 42nd quarterback since 1999. He's the first quarterback in Browns history to win their debut since 1995. My boy,
that's the first since that franchise. That's the first since that franchise basically reestablished themselves.
So in their history, Shedur Sanders is already on historic pace because he's just that damn good. And and I'm just last, and he has been named a starter for their next week's game or this upcoming Sunday against San Francisco 49ers. Your dog is going crazy right now.
I don't know what he's doing right now.
He wants attention. That's what he needs.
He does. No, Amy's at a PTA meeting and But you look at it, I mean, the stats will not jump off the page at you. I think there is a condensed playbook with Shedeur.
Clearly.
But I mean, he got them into positions. I mean, that 50-yard bomb on the run. And then obviously Genty comes in and the Wildcat scores his second touchdown. But he did throw an interception. He got his first touchdown. 11 of 20, 209 yards passing. He's at, let's see, average 10.5 per completion. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, I like it, man.
I love it. I feel like, because you brought up a great stat there, the 10.5 per completion. Clearly, he's putting way more pressure on the defense than Dillon Gabriel did. And I'm not a Dillon Gabriel hater, but I feel like it's turned. If you're a Shedur Sanders fan, I feel like you turn to a Dillon Gabriel not liker. I want to say hater because that's who they're going against. But if you watch how Dillon Gabriel has played, he does not extend the ball 20 yards down the field like ever. And to play the quarterback position isn't solely just, deep balls. Pause. Wow, that is crazy. That is a huge pause. Deep pass attempts down the field. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got to keep that one moving. Please don't clip that. Deep pass attempts down the field. And Jerry's dying right now. You have to put your guys in position to make plays, and he did that. He had the bomb to Judy, who he did fumble after that because he stopped playing football.
Because it's Jerry Judy.
As a
Broncos fan, I had to endure that. As a Broncos fan, I had to endure that.
I was going to say the same thing.
We sucked from 2016 up until last year, and Jerry Judy might have been the worst spot of that.
You had KJ Hamler for a little minute. What about KJ Hamler?
Don't get me started on KJ Hamler.
Anyway, Shedur Sanders, he looked good in his starting debut. People have been talking about how he seems arrogant, and because he's saying in the pregame that I'm who they're looking for, and his postgame, he was still say he played well, and imagine how he can get it if he gets a full offseason under his belt. Do I feel like he's speaking a little too soon? Maybe a little bit, but as a Shedur Sanders fan, I love the confidence he's exuding. It seems like the guys around him.
Well, and
yeah,
people forget, like, the same thing with Ja. Like, all the think pieces that came out was insane, and obviously we saw what happened after Shedeur made his comments. You got to remember now. Granted, neither of us were alive when Deion was in college, but you see any video of him from when he was at Florida State. Deion talked before he ever wanted a dadgum thing, and the only reason it's amplified now with Shedeur is because of social media. And I'm not gonna I don't hate it. I like the confidence, I will say.
Yeah, but
also too, like, you can't knock Shedeur for being confident, especially when because I saw a tweet. It may have been Sane who reposted it, but it was basically saying that he sounds like his dad, but without all the accolades and stuff.
Yeah, that's
like Shedeur. Deion always had the reputation of that he was gonna talk his mess whether he had accolades or not.
Yeah, facts.
So like I that argument to me just needed to be null from the point of conception. I think Shedeur, I was very shocked when he did not go round 1 or round 2, especially.
Facts. Because
I was never sold on him being a top 10 pick, but I never thought he would drop out of like the top 30. It's crazy. I like what Shedeur. I like how he looked. They are simplifying the playbook for him, I believe. It looked very game manager-esque until they're comfortable with him opening up that playbook. But a good starting place to know that you've started to gain trust with your coaching staff is that Dillon Gabriel was named on the depth chart above you. Dillon Gabriel has already been cleared from concussion protocol, and he is going to be available to play. And here on Monday, November 24th, the day after that, Shedur Sanders was the winning quarterback in his first career start for the Cleveland Browns, which is the first time in that team's history since they've reopened the team or whatnot. That has happened. They've already named Shedeur the starting quarterback. People can hate, but the coaching staff trust him with some facet of their offense, obviously.
And I feel like that's despite Kevin Stefanski looking like he just hates Shedeur, because every time anyone asks any question about him, he just brushes it off. He's like, I'm focused on all the team. I know people are talking about how Shedeur didn't get the game ball. I get it. Myles Garrett had one of the best games of his career.
Myles Garrett is about to break the sack record. And now, granted, This will be one of the records that you can say that you can't say, oh, because the season is now 17 games instead of 16.
He's on pace already. Like
he's already on pace, man. He's played 11 games, and he's played 11 games, and he's 4.5 off the record. I think I'm pretty sure.
He can get that by like week 16 at worst.
Dude, he could get it next week.
If you really want to, against the 49ers don't have the best defensive line. So Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, hey, y'all may have the sack record on y'all next week. But anyway,
it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks.
I would take that bet. But yeah, he's playing great, and I love everything I'm seeing. The fact that he's already been named the starter, I feel like that will ultimately put more confidence in him and the team and the coaching staff to open that playbook up a little bit, because clearly he's not afraid to throw the ball down the field. That was a big bark by your dog.
It really wasn't. The mic just somehow, for some reason, picked it up very loud.
Oh, that's crazy. As a dog lover myself, I just want to just come through the screen and just like pick him up, be like, hey, it's okay.
Oh, if you've seen any of the daily grinds that I'm on, dude, he's in my lap half the show.
Yes, we love the dogs out here. But anyway, I feel like next week we can see him opening that playbook up, especially if the 49ers defense that you may have to. I don't feel like you can game manager against the San Francisco 49ers. Like, yes, they're not having a great season, but they still have talent on their team on both sides of the ball. So you have to put pressure on the defense. You have to throw some post routes. You have to throw some goals. I have to do something to open that offense up, because the one touchdown he gave was a 62-yarder, but it was a screen pass that Simpson took to the crib. That is great, but you can't do dip and duck check downs for a whole offense. You know?
No, I think you have to. I think you have to keep it in the RPO option game. Keep him moving. I think to kind of keep him in a rhythm. Yeah. Because I do think sometimes if you do let Shedeur try to stand in the pocket too long, I think sometimes he likes to second guess himself and not throw the ball a lot where he needs to. But I think if you keep him in that flowing either way, keep him in the RPO where he has to make a split-second decision, he's going to be just fine. And then you'll see those deeper post routes, those deeper outs, those deeper slants, the deeper comeback routes. You'll see those start to open up when you see that he's starting to see the field a lot better. But I think right now, just keeping the playbook simple for Shedeur and let him make that quick decision to where he's going to get these quick passes off and these quick completions off. And I think you're going to see him start to really shine in the way he should.
Yeah, I can agree with that. We are Shedeur fans here, and as always, flicked up the wrist. It's always perfect timing. We love that. Hey, Amy.
She slightly opened the door so she can get whiskey out of here. And I don't know if you can hear her, but whiskey's going crazy and he's jumping on her.
Amy cameo on the No Bluffin podcast. We love to see it.
Oh man,
we're at an hour 2 in the game. It's probably just
an hour 2.
Yeah, and the game is just starting. And also Monday Night Raw is starting, and our Tribal Chief.
You know they don't start till like 15 minutes after the hour, so they're probably starting another like 10.
Yeah, so we're gonna get us out of here. And your Tribal Chief Roman Reigns is now on the television right now, so we must acknowledge him always.
He got that tattoo touched up a little bit. That's why he had that orange sleeve on last
That's why he had the sleeve on. Yeah, it definitely looks more full now, which is kind of funny. But as always, we have to finish out with the FanDuel pick of the week.
I haven't even looked.
Oh, producer Jared, what's going on?
I always forget, man.
But we have to pay the bills, as they say. But my FanDuel pick of the week, if y'all want to make some money, is for tonight's game against the Denver Nuggets. The spread is it's 6.5 right now.
Oh, it went down. Okay.
Yeah, I believe we cover that. If we lose this game, I feel like it's going to be another close game. So the Grizz under 6.5 is a plus 310 bet.
I believe they've covered in 4 of their last 5.
Yeah, I believe we have. So that's gonna be my bet tonight.
San Antonio.
Yeah, the one game in San Antonio. That's gonna be my bet tonight. Can you find a bet in like 0.10 seconds?
Give me. I've actually looked this earlier today. Give me Panthers tonight plus 7.5. They are.
Who are they playing?
They're playing San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco on a short week too. Wait,
I think no. It's Monday night. It's a longer week.
No, but they Monday to next Sunday because they play Browns next Sunday.
Oh yeah, it's always a shorter week when you play on Monday.
Yeah.
But no, just the Panthers are they're a scrappy team. They'll stay in it till the end. And Bryce Young has gotten better. This entire team has gotten better. A win gets the Panthers in first place in the NFC South. Enrico Dowdle has just been a monster for them this year.
Yes, it has.
I like that plus 7.5 number. So give me Panthers plus 7.5.
And also with the Bucks losing, that division looks even more wide open. And with Baker Mayfield spraining his AC joint in his shoulder. So I personally like Bryson, even though he's an Alabama guy and I can't stand Alabama football. He has won the job back. He's been playing well. He had a 4-touchdown game against the Falcons. He seems to have the confidence back of himself and that franchise. I love to see a young quarterback playing well like that. But that's going to do it for the No Bluffin podcast. Thank y'all, as always, for chopping it up with us. It was a good episode. We right at an hour 5, so that's a good episode.
Right when we said we were going.
Right where we said we got the timing right. Shout out Jared for being in the producer seat. And as y'all see, we didn't have that many Wi-Fi mess-ups today.
How many?
Not me. Y'all can understand what I was saying for, I think, 95% of the show. And I feel like it looks, pretty decent. I got a crazy setup going on. Y'all can't see. Also, I cleaned my room, by the way. Y'all didn't talk about how my room is clean. My bed is made, well, kind of. But yeah, it's a good week, man. It's a good week. We will see y'all again next week. Jared, do you have anything to tell the people before we get out of here?
No, man. We're in the holiday season. It's Turkey week, and enjoy time with your family if that's what you're doing.
100%.
Yeah, be thankful for them all. But yeah, enjoy the holiday season. Be safe. Travel well wherever you're going. If you're staying home, if you're hosting, be a good host. But yeah, also go Grizz.
As always, go Grizz. I will be coming home tomorrow back to Memphis. I finally get to go home.
Aren't you in town like in December at some point too?
Yeah, for Christmas break. Yeah, Christmas break is like in 2 weeks after that. So I'll be home. Thank God I will be home. So yes, we're hosting Thanksgiving this year. Looking forward to that. Eat your turkey, eat your stuffing, eat your dressing, eat your ham, eat your green bean casserole, whatever the world you eat. And yeah. What?
I think we're about to get a very, very, very good segment on Raw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. On that note,
Evan, go ahead and sign us off, my friend.
Yeah, Evan Hayes, E11 Hayes, Jared Davidson, JB Davidson _ and as always, go Grizz.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the No Bluffing podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.